Welcome in, Husker Extra 2-Minute Drill. I'm Chris. There's Steve. We're at Big Ten Media Days here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Just wrapped up talking to the three Nebraska football players here, Ben Stille, Deontay Williams, Austin Allen. We talked to Scott Frost earlier today. Scott Frost, of course, is on the podium as well. Covered a lot of ground. We'll try and simplify it for you as much as we can. We'll start with the Illinois game.
Yeah.
The season opener.
Yeah. What'd you hear, Chris?
Well, just the importance of that game, and Deontay Williams, I thought was interesting. He said it's the most important game they're going to play all season because of several factors. Guys like him came back for another year to try and turn the culture. This team was picked 5th in the Big Ten West. It's a divisional game. You're playing the team that was picked 7th in your division. Scott Frost, he kind of went both ways. He said, yes, it's important, but one game doesn't make or break a season. But it's clear this game means a lot.
It does. Now that conversation feels a little dangerous to me.
Yeah.
Because you don't, it's the old. I've been listening to coaches for 30 years say you can't put too much into one game.
Yeah.
But intuitively, I think we all know it's big. And then to hear somebody like Deontay Williams say that's interesting. Okay, Chris, Nebraska's picked 5th in the Cleveland.com poll in the West Division. What did you hear from players about that?
It was interesting because Ben Stille played it very close to the vest, saying, this was the first I'd heard about it today. That stuff doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. Deontay Williams said, yeah, that's motivation for us. That puts a chip on our shoulder. That's what makes that Illinois game so important, is we can set the tone and kind of prove people wrong.
And what Frost said.
And Frost probably had the most interesting quote of the whole day. He said, we were picked where we deserved to be picked because of our record the last few years. He said, when we start to win more, then we'll deserve to be picked higher. So that was an interesting point of discussion, too, because they understand, Nebraska's players, their coaches understand why they're picked where they are. They also understand what they have to do to get to where they want to go, so they're not being picked 5th.
There's a degree of humility, and Frost said they got to earn respect.
Yeah.
Frost, by the way, his appearance today I thought was excellent.
Very good.
Yeah, I thought Frost struck a good balance between being confident, but being properly humbled by being 12-20.
That was one of the things I wrote about for today. What would he project today? And I thought he did a good job, like you said, striking that balance. He was a confident coach, but at the same time, you could tell he had dialed it back maybe from some previous trips up here, 2018, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it was interesting. Another person here, Trev Alberts, the new boss.
Yeah, Trev was on the scene. And I'll tell you something, Chris. He is really smooth with me.
Yeah.
He's excellent. He's going to be an excellent AD in terms of being a spokesman for the athletic department because he's just very smooth. You can't catch him on anything. Yeah. He has that ESPN background where he always had to think on his feet. Mm-hmm. Now, what he's going to be different than Moose in one major way, and that is, Moose, like in 2019 in Chicago, was asked what would represent progress in the football program, and he just laid it out.
Yeah.
We need to get 6 wins.
Yeah.
We need to get to a bowl game. You know what? Trev today said, you won't hear me do that.
Yeah.
He said what he just wants to see right now is incremental progress, a focus on the details. If we get better at the details, we'll get better.
Sounds like a former player, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what Scott Frost said, too. He said,
yes,
Trev and I seem to be in agreement on a lot of these things. So good start for those two in that relationship. One last thing to touch on before we get out of here. NIL, of course, was a big topic today. All the coaches, all the players were asked about it. Scott Frost had some interesting comments talking about the Alabama quarterback. I forget his name.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young getting deals for nearly $1 million and what that might mean for a player like that.
Well, Frost said it puts a lot of pressure on the young man. Then he kind of went away from it, and I brought it back and said, what when you say pressure on a young man, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And he said, well, if I was 19 and making $750,000, I would feel a certain pressure to perform.
Yeah.
And that's just, he goes, there's going to be good parts of the NIL, and there's going to be parts that aren't great. But in all, he puts a pretty positive spin on it.
No pressure to perform here with Sip and I. That's your 2-minute drill. It's more like a 4-minute drill. We thank you guys for tuning in. Check out HuskerExtra.com. We'll have updates all throughout the day and again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.